despite those challenges, we were able to work together to ensure that, and also the overall goal to promote Liberian football. So again, we'd like to say many thanks for your cooperation. Special thanks to our partners, Intersports, who are always here to ensure that we have all of our events live streamed as well. So today's media engagement, as stated in the media invitation alert, the President will talk key topics relative to football development. We focus on the recent executive committee that was held. Several decisions were taken during that meeting, so the President will elaborate more on those decisions and how the Football Association intends to go forward to implement some of the decisions that were taken. And also, as we enter the new year, as you may be aware about the FIFA Forward 2.0, this cycle is coming to an end, and we also have the CAF Impact Project. Those are initiatives under CAF and FIFA that the Football Association get funding from to run its initiatives to ensure that football is developed at all levels in line with our goals as stated before this administration will take over. So without further ado, I will now turn over to the President of the Liberian Football Association, Mr. Mustafa Raji, who will address you, the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Good afternoon to you all, and Happy New Year. Happy to see each and every one of you. Special thanks to all members who are present, supporting football development in our country, members of the executive committee, the staff of the LFA, former players represented here. We want to say thank you for your contribution as usual. We'll start first by putting a focus on key issues in terms of our promises and commitment towards developing football, key pillar under football development. It's on its way in terms of infrastructure development. At the Anthony Tottenham Stadium is also ongoing. We remain hopeful that the team, TCN, hired by the Moroccan Football Federation, should finalize its works sometimes around late March of this year. There are other projects, yes, as mentioned by Mr. Kokwe, the executive committee approved. And these infrastructure projects are all aligned with our vision in terms of football development and creating opportunities and infrastructures around the country. We believe strongly, as the Football Association, each and every county must have at least a minimum of one pitch. That can be constructed by the Football Association using its FIFA Forward funds or partnership between the Football Association and government of Liberia or other prominent citizens within Liberia, or through contributions from other friendly member associations like we've done in the past. We want to continue with this because every talent must be given a chance. Boy and girl or girl in the community must be given a chance. Veterans must also be given a chance to have a good place to exercise. And club football in terms of first, second division, women's football team should also be given a chance to play on good pitches. In order to do that, we must all work together with national government, and thanks to the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the LRA, and the Chief Patron of Sports, who've given us the leverage to have duty-free privileges to come with the inputs of these materials that we use to develop pitches around Liberia. So the executive committee approved the launch of RFQs for series of pitches and projects. Today we have the Nesibido Stadium and pitch in Bon County, Lfa County, Grangida County, River G, Maryland County, Granco, Sino, River Sets, Bapolu, and Grand Cape Mount County. One will ask why Grand Cape Mount County. There are a couple of counties, and also Bobby County, Bapolu County included. There are a couple of counties who we commenced work with in advance Cape Town County provided us the MOU, signed MOU, turning the land over to the Liberia Football Association, same with Lfa County and Grangeda County. So they form part of the first batch in the next cycle to come. And that's the reason why we launched those RFQs to accelerate the process to ensure that we have all of the details before formulating the project documentations that we'll be submitting to FIFA or other partners that work along the LFA to have these facilities served. We will lobby with other friendly nations. We work alongside with government. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has also committed in terms of partnering with the Football Association to ensure that funding we receive during the next cycle from the FIFA for funds can be combined with support from national government to roll out a series of pitches in Liberia. The executive committee also took into consideration what we introduced a couple of years ago to alleviate or reduce the impact of transportation on both of our clubs traveling from Montserrat County to other counties, and moreover, see how we can increase the number of buses in our fleets. So the executive committee also approved to open an RFQ, to launch an RFQ for the purchase of buses to help solve problems faced by clubs. Mind you, both of our clubs in the country do not have the financial capacity to own buses, so they rely on the buses available at the Football Association. And that's the reason why we need, over the period now, to increase the fleet of buses to ensure that all clubs that will be traveling in and out of Montserrat or other clubs coming from other parts of Liberia will have the chance to utilize the Football Association transportation services at a very minimum cost. So today, clubs have been benefiting of the period. Few clubs utilize the bus service to travel out of Liberia, and something that we were happy about in terms of contributing and reducing the cost impact on clubs. The executive committee also took into consideration the movement of clubs to other league venues, Nimba County, Grand Bassa, and Grangeda County. So now we're looking at exploring the means of having accommodation that will provide to our clubs and match officials. Accommodation cost is high on the clubs who travel to Nimba, to travel to Grangeda County, travel to Grand Bassa and other places. And we think as a Football Association, when we have area for accommodation in place and a minimum cost for our members, it's going to reduce the burden on our clubs, create more opportunity for them to rest in terms of from long travels, including match officials as well. We think it's going to reduce more expenses from the side of the Football Association in terms of competition, organization, from costs relating to match officials, accommodation, running the league over the period of time. The executive committee as well during the period also requested to move forward with the launch of an RFQ also for the national team. We're looking at bringing in 2 buses for the senior national team. Mind you, the current buses that we have was purchased by the Football Association utilizing the FIFA funds over the period, and we think that the buses now are not up to the level for the senior national team. So the executive committee has also approved to ensure that when our national team players come, we'll have the opportunity to move with comfort in buses that is up to the standard for our senior national teams, both male and female. We also discussed, and we are in the process. We've received the patent rights now for the LFA exclusive football brand that's going to be owned by the Football Association, named after 4 Liberian football administrators as a way of honoring them, those who serve our football. The intent of this is to ensure that we provide ball subsidy to our clubs and also compete in the market with other products so that profits generated from the ball sales will be reinvested into our football development program. The executive committee as well discussed the issue of the Henry Newman Brown Academy. Work is also ongoing to be completed very soon. Our players, the new breed of players from the level of U12, U15 will be accommodated at the Henry Newman Brown Academy, who is stationed in Carisburg, named the George Manawia Technical Center, our center of excellence. The program is going to run, and our hope is to develop these players and possibly move a bulk of them to Europe, market these players, and funding that will be generated from there will be reinvested into our football program, grassroots program, and also use as additional subvention to clubs in the level of first, second division, and also now to include third and fourth division team, because we are confident that over the period we will have sufficient money to distribute and extend to the level of third and fourth division teams. The executive committee also took into consideration challenges faced over the period, huge financial burdens for national government, for national teams activities on the side of the LFA as well. And to calm this situation, we've taken into consideration now the approval to move forward with the RFQ and planning for the LFA Hotel. The LFA Hotel is intended to solve a lot of problems that we face today, a means of generating funds for the LFA and its programs and for national teams. Government will also be, assured of now paying reduced costs instead of paying costs for accommodation. The national government will be spending on feeding of national team players, and those will be accommodated at the hotel during the period of national team stay. During the period of non-national team activities, the hotel will be open to business, and fundings generated from the hotel will be reinvested into our football development program, ensuring and guaranteeing that we continue to spread over our football activities all over the 15 counties in Liberia. We, as the executive committee, believe strongly that this is going to help not only academic teams or grassroots teams, but it's going to help all other teams as a whole in Liberia. During the period, we've also approved the increase in subvention for clubs at the level of the first, second, and women's upper division. Now the amount will be moving from $6,000 to $7,500 per club. The amount is based on specific criteria again, and contribution will be coming from FIFA Forward and the CAF Impact Program. In 2025, because of the limited amounts of funds, the increase affected only a women's football team. Those teams who met the criteria in full received $1,500 each, totaling around $7,500 to each of the women's upper league team that met the criteria. The addition of the FIFA and the CAF Impact Program was targeted towards ensuring that clubs will utilize this fund to cover either education of the girls, cover medical expense, or equipment. So 3 different categories the payment could be used for. We are expecting to have the reports from those clubs to ensure that the benefit for the period 2026. The combination of clubs in the first and second division are also going to benefit during the period of the CAF Impact Funds release. And once it's done, and those clubs meet the criteria defined by the Audit Compliance Committee, the Finance Department will certainly release the funding. We are confident, and again, very soon, the Media Department will release to the general public, to members of the press, all of the clubs who participated and applied for the subvention from the Liberia Football Association. It's $6,000 each, and the affiliate members will be published as part of our good governance principles and policies showed and promised to our members or citizens of Liberia in and out. So there are members who failed to meet the criteria, some others who are now under review from the side of the Audit and Compliance Committee, and the necessary sanctions will be taken, because receiving those funds is intended to be utilized as payment or contributions for payment of salaries for players and staff. So if clubs who have failed to do so over the last 2 or 3 seasons, they will definitely be sanctioned by the Audit and Compliance Committee, because it's the FIFA Forward funds, and we're going to enforce and apply the FIFA Forward regulations in full. There are a couple of other activities ongoing still, but completed with the CES program, the Women's Football program, the grassroots program in schools, and it's going to continue. We are also looking at the National League, commencement of the National League, enhancing and improving our game at all levels. The issue of coaches development as well, sports medicine development, including opportunities and capacity building initiatives for staff, stakeholders, and other members who apply and are successful. The Football Association, again, is here for each and every one of us. Let us all continue to work together, join our hands in a positive way to continue to develop Liberian football. Thank you very much for coming. A few updates to you, and we are open if you have any questions to address those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So the floor is now open for questions and answers related to topics that were discussed or spoken about by the President. So if you have a question, you raise your hands, you will recognize and ask a question. Yeah, Edinburgh.
Thank you. My name is Mr. President, you spoke about this project, the hotel, the cafe. Where would the football association get money from to do these things? Is it from the Lfa project or from CAF impact?
Well, it's a combination of funds. So it's not limited to one area, not only the FIFA for all funds, not the CAF impact. We'll be looking at partners, friendly members association. But mind you, if you all followed, FIFA entered into an MOU with the Saudi fund, and it's a concession loan that will be given to developing members association. And we as a football association, specifically covering infrastructure, want to take advantage of that. And once it's done, we want to be way ahead. And that's the reason why we're launching all of these RFQs to ensure that we have it in time, go through all of the requisite documentation procedures, so that once it comes up, we can start applying.
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, so Mr. President, I'm curious to know, to be specific, the number of clubs that are expected to be sanctioned based on not utilizing the necessary fund. Are there specific number?
Well, it's under the review by the Audit and Compliance Committee. It's an independent committee. We don't interfere with the works. But what we know is that there are some clubs who've received the subvention and that's failed to provide reports. So the finance department did not release a last year payment to them because of that. And considering that has taken a longer time now, it's under review by the Audit and Compliance Committee. So once the Audit and Compliance Committee come up, they will communicate to all members of the press.
So thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Nathaniel Sosa-Stopa. Talking about those different projects, especially the infrastructure development in terms of building church or pitches across the country with the different counties that you just listed. My concern is what are the specific time frame that the football association is expected to work in and ensure that those across those periods they can achieve those different set of projects?
Well, our target is before 2030 because you cannot just have a turf completed at one point in time in 1 year. If you take into consideration the turf and the Gumpa took a longer time because of the different steps and procedure, and that's why now we are going in advance to launch the RFQ way ahead and to finalize those agreements. What I can tell you is the first batch of counties that will be touched. We have Grand Jida County because we have the MOU. The county has turned over the land to the Football Association. We have Lfa. We've also received the deeds and all documents turned over to the Football Association. And Grand Cape Mount County has also turned over all documents. So we have those documents in place. We are also engaging other counties to ensure that we have the documentations in advance, because moving into those projects, you need to have either lease or ownership to the facilities to enable you finalize all of the plannings, because from one step we have to move forward to the topo survey, the geotechnical survey, and it takes a lot of time. So we want to eat up time to ensure we have everything in our hands as the Football Association. So within the next cycle, beginning 2026 to 2030, and we want to ensure that yes, indeed, we should have all of those facilities turfed in our country.
So just a follow-up to that, talking about those infrastructure development and the different counties that those projects are going to, I'm concerned to know what is the specific partnership that the LFA is having with authorities from those different counties in terms of maybe whether there is any fund that they are also contributing towards this project as signed, the memorandum of understanding by 2020 over.
What I can tell you is that we did the Doris William, no contribution for the county. We did the field in Tusa Field, no contribution from the county. Gompa, no contribution. We introduced an agreement, a pilot that we started with Mr. Thomas Floyd, Jungle Waters, that worked very well, and that's what resulted into the turf at the Thomas Floyd Stadium in Sanikole. We want to do more, and that's the reason why we said the LFA is open to other citizens. I believe it can shorten the time in terms of delivery if we have these partnerships, and not only with prominent citizens or senators, representatives, etc. We're looking at other companies who have concession agreements in our country to work alongside with the LFA. It's going to reduce the cost usually. So looking at how much we spend at Gompa, if a company is coming or individuals coming to work with us like Jungle Water did to construct the sub-base, it's even more easier for the LFA to bring more turf. So that's what we're looking at, and that's the reason why we're open to work, and it shows that the partnership work with Jungle Water, and we're hoping that it work with other counties who are interested in ensuring that we accelerate the process to have these turfs in each of these areas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I'm Sam Moba, and my question has to do with just a follow-up from what Ed was asking concerning the idea of providing accommodation. You said the executive committee has approved to work to get some accommodation issues. I want to know what's the framework like. Is the LFA intending to build guest houses, or how is it going to be done to have some of these things done as you stated?
Well, it's approved. Now the option is we're exploring either to lease a facility or to construct our own. Why? Today, for example, a team travels to Nima County. Minimum for accommodation is spend around $700+ US per day. If the Football Association leases an apartment or facility, well furnished, etc., they'll be giving it to the clubs for far lower amount. We want to reduce as much as possible the cost on our clubs. So the Football Association will be looking at two different methods. We're looking at the short term and we're looking at the long term, where we can have our own facilities, because now it's not only about having a station where we can accommodate players, but we're also looking at reducing costs and expenses for match officials that are traveling to those areas. It's going to help us to redirect the funding into other areas. So yes, we'll be looking at the short and longer term lease, and also looking at how we can construct some of these facilities for the use of our match officials and our stakeholders.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Garrison Dian. Mr. President, you're going to talk about the issue of the accommodation. I will take you back to an interview on a Punch covered months back, and you complain with the issue of our national team being paid for hotel when we have a contract, especially when they stay on SAD and the hotel incoming key was our property in terms of the national team. You have located how far has your Africa gone, especially with the issue of national team accommodation, and 2025 price. Can you please review your performance, especially in 2025? What is the biggest success in 2025?
Well, thank you very much. With the issue of the hotel, it was constructed, it's owned by national government, and from information gathered, it was leased to a private company for over 20+ years, meaning we cannot have no autonomy or equal rights or bigger discount to utilize the facility. We are treated like any other company or individuals wanting to use the hotel for accommodation. And that's the reason why it pains us so much as the Football Association. And we think since we came, we talk about innovation, come up with different kind of ideas to save our country out of huge costs. It's better for us to invest in something we own as the LFA Hotel, rather than continuously paying or being indebted to hotels around. It's regrettable that we don't have the opportunity to use the hotel for a huge discounted price, but it is what it is. we passed the information on to the Minister of Sports. There was a meeting held with His Excellency, and I believe they are investigating and working modalities to see how national team can have access to activities. What I can also tell you is that for our plans for 2025, I believe we made significant improvements. We score hard marks, but on the overall, you are the ones who view in terms of measure our work. You have the barometer to measure, but what we lay down in terms of prospects, in terms of the different structures, in terms of competitions, I believe we've done well. Looking at the increase in prize money of our team, our commitment to deliver. Gone are the days where team won the trophies and they didn't get the cash prizes. Since we took over, we've ensured that all of the clubs, once you win your cash prize, you get it. And we've increased that amount significantly. Today, women's football, for example, the champions team is no longer getting 150,000 Liberian dollars. We are talking about around 25,000 US dollars they're going to get when they win the cup. We're talking about the men's in terms of first division getting around 30,000 US dollars when they win the cup. So I think it's huge and significant impact we continue to make. I'm happy that we could increase the subvention for women's team because it's challenging to run a women's football team. Increasing the amount from 6,000 to 7,500, I think was something also big for us. Opportunities for our staff and other stakeholders to gain, additional expertise from outside. I mean, it's a plus that we think, yes, something great that we did. The restructuring of our competitions and how competitive, it has turned into something big. Increase in the number of foreign players participating in our league, specifically women's players that are coming to Liberia to participate in the league. All evidence of showing and displaying that, yes, we have a good and competitive women's football league running in our country. Accessibility online for our viewers that are not in Liberia following our game and creating an opportunity for our players to showcase. Happy in terms of the migration now of our players because there are others who are monitoring our leagues and, transfers. We're seeing Emmanuel Flomo, Kanes Cole, Jebe Kone, a lot of players now moving from Liberia because people have the opportunity to follow our game online thanks to, a Liberian-owned company, not a foreign company, our Liberian-owned, and something that we need to celebrate as Liberians, push their agenda, prioritize them, give them support. I would love to see national government giving exclusive rights to Intel Sports to cover the National County Sports Meet as a means of strengthening a young Liberian company. Intel has partnered with us, making the game available and accessible to Liberians in and out. And, thanks for the partnership through the FIFA Plus program. Intel has continued to support us. So a lot of these initiatives, celebrating, a new program that FIFA also now has launched and approved again for the Liberia Football Association, thanks to the technical director and his team, looking at now the scouting in terms of talent development, talent ID division that's going to be headed by Kevin Sigwe, one of our legends. So it's something great for us. FIFA will be providing additional 75,000 for this program, something very, very good. We look at also the launching successfully of the A diploma courses for CAF, something that proved that we have now closed up the gap from the level C, B, and A diploma in the area of coaching. We're looking at the area of referees in terms of development of referees. It's all proving in terms of what we've done. Our first Liberian referee to participate in a FIFA Youth World Cup, something great for us. A female referee also officiating in the level of the Women's African Cup of Nations, something good. I think we are growing. There's more to come, more for us to do, and we believe that it is time now for us, and the next cycle and the next period of our activities is about competition, is about getting the end results. Looking at what we continue or what we have continued to do for club football in terms of our champions. We see today our champion teams that are playing in the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup. The LFA has continued to provide that support, covering the cost of all referees who come to Liberia. We cover the flight tickets for the referee through our own additional funding as a contribution to save those clubs. So the likes of Facel Black Men Warrior received support from the LFA. We covered the cost of accommodation and feeding of the referees and other match officials that came to officiate matches for those two teams in our country. So more and more that we continue to do our women's football strategy. The first time under the administration of football since 1936, we launched 2 different strategies, and our women's football strategy is on course. Our grassroots U12 league, U15 league, all on course. And I'm very excited that, yes, thanks to, one of the best teams in the world, our team at the LFA, the employees who've worked, over the period to ensure that, yes, we bring our activities to light, thanks to the executive committee, and of course, thanks to stakeholders who pass these decisions at the level of the Congress to ensure that we have guaranteed funding to run our activities.
Happy New Year, Mr. President. My name is Christopher Walker. I'm from Fish Africa. I have 2 concerns. One, 8 years has been on our renovation for months now. You care to tell us how far, when will that facility be dedicated and turned over? Because it's one place that Liberians are going to feel happy watching football game because in the heart of the city. Secondly, there are reports that B Mountain has requested the LFA to use the blue field as their home. Is that true? And if it is true, what the LFA decision on that?
Well, I think I mentioned earlier that the contractors are working TCN for Morocco. They're working very hard around the clock to ensure that we have the ATS, refurbished ATS delivered sometime March of 2026. Challenges faced, it's about raw materials in terms of crushed stones. I mean, we're happy to announce that we received the final batch of stones from Medina Rock Crusher. So, I mean, some delays, also traffic and other related aspects. But we have now the entire field filled with the crushed stones. We have received the sub base. We are also awaiting now the silica sand because there are also challenges involved with shipment of these containers. The turf, the artificial grass will be loaded from Turkey very soon, as I'm told. And once they have the BL, then we'll be certain that yes, all is going to close. But the contractors inform us that certainly March 2026 we'll have the ATS. Currently, I mean, in the last few weeks, we had the technicians coming from Moscow to check the lights to ensure that it's all in place. Our team has also been checking with the scoreboards because we want to just, use the facility. There's a huge challenge in terms of access to facilities around the country, so we are pushing as much as possible to ensure that the ATS is completed. With the blue field, well, I have no knowledge that B Mountain want to use it at its home ground. That facility we've denied all clubs in the upper first and second division from using because we are giving priority to our youth football program, our TDS, the Henry Human Brand Academy for off-site activities, our U12, U15 leagues to have that priority and opportunity to use a good pitch. So far, I'm aware of a request from B Mountain to utilize that facility as its home ground during the course of the LFA First Division League.
Mr. President, thank you. Thank you. So, as I'm going to ask my, in the year 2025, critics criticize that decision making within the LFA centralized and led accountability. As president, how independent were you in decisions making from all sectors, and are you willing to allow external audits and public reporting if the needs arise?
Can you please repeat? I didn't get you clear.
Alright. So, in the year 2025, critics allegedly criticize that decision making within the LFA is centralized and allegedly lack independent accountability. As president, how independent were in terms of decision making from all sectors, and are you willing to allow external audits and public reporting of LFA activities if the needs arises? And lastly, when your tenure ends, what lasting legacy will the Liberian football remember you for? And if key challenges remain unresolved, will you consider stepping aside for new leadership?
Well, thank you very much. So I'll answer the first question. And when we took over, we emphasized on good governance. And because we emphasized on good governance, we created an opportunity first from the level of Congress to ensure that everyone is represented. And that's why we continue to advocate for the presence of those who make the game beautiful, the players to be represented at the General Assembly. Decision making at the LFA, there are different kind of processes. When you have judicial bodies, it is completely independent. We, all of the members of the executive committee, including myself, do not interfere with decision of the judicial bodies. When it also comes to licensing bodies, we have independent professionals who are managing and heading these bodies. The club licensing board and the appeal body are all independent individuals running these activities. It comes to committees. In terms of standing committees, there are other standing committees that are headed as per the statutes by executive committee members. Those standing committees are there to support the works of the executive committee, the competitions committee, the player status committee, and the rest of the others who are not part of the judicial bodies. If it comes to the audit and compliance committee, again, another independent body who review and make decisions independently in terms of payment of subvention. I believe both of the stakeholders are aware in terms of receiving the payments with no involvement from the side of the LFA executives. Yes, there will always be critics, and the criticism will make us stronger to work harder to correct the mistakes that we make, but I can assure you that we do not interfere, and we are open, evidenced by some of the appointments we've made in the past. There are members of SWA that were appointed to specific committee on ad hoc committee to form part of projects. Some, couldn't be available 100% of the time. Some turned out, had no interest. But we, as the Football Association, decided to be open as much as possible to ensure that, yes, indeed, we have more transparency, good governance, and be transparent over the period with all of our activities. Yes, when we talk about legacy, well, there's a lot that we've done. And today, I'm happy that you are seated here. This is one of a legacy projects that we are proud of, because we promised before coming to the LFA that when we are given the chance to serve football, we will construct the first ever LFA headquarters. Today, you are comfortably seated. We are not in a rental facility, saving us of huge costs, and we are discussing football. A place for football governance to be discussed and well positioned to structure activities of football in our country. Pitches. Today, you see the evolution of pitches in our country. And Bassa County never ever dreamed of having one. Today, they have one. The people of Nima County today are celebrating 2. Today, the people of Monserrado County are celebrating not just 2 under my leadership, the SKD practice pitch, the 2-side field, but also benefited from the renovation of the blue field, and will also benefit in the next few months from the Willie D. Knuckles, who will have a new pitch. Artificial mini pitches, 2 in terms of arena pitches, guarantee expansion of other pitches around. What we've also done is to introduce a lot of new things. In the past, since 1936, I stand to be corrected, there was nothing called a grassroots league in our country. A U12 league, or U15 league, or U17 league. Under my watch, we ensure, because it's part of building the foundation of football, we must start from the grassroots. So today, we've ensured that we have a grassroots football in place, where we have a U8, U12, U10 leagues to ensure there is a connection as what we talk about the player development pathway. From the era of U12 league, to the era of U15 league, to the era of U17 league that we're currently running in Monserrado County. We also launched the first U17 Women's League in Maryland County, a legacy for us. The first U15 Girls League in Grangeville County, a legacy for us. Women's football, for example, ran over the last 15 to 20 years before I took over the Football Association alongside with my strong and vibrant executive committee, with 8 teams running in one league. Today, we have made the women's football game very beautiful with the support of those who continue to invest in women's football. In the upper league, you have 12 teams. In the lower league, you have additional 12 teams, thereby improving competition, relegation, promotion, player development increase, and increase in participation of girls. We also have the community league in Monserrado County. The number of women's participation in football today, the presence in Grand Bassa County, a presence now of a new league to commence very soon in Makibi County, a new league to now commence in Bong County, with other leagues being running in Lfa County, Nimba County, Grand Jida County, River G County, Maryland, and Grand Crew County, respectively. We want to ensure, however, that other counties will have the opportunity to play women's football. Legacy programs, yes, we are proud that yes, on our administration, we introduced the Coaches Convention, and the Coaches Convention to ensure that yes, we lay out the foundation for appropriate coaching and developing quality coaching and coaching education in our country. Under our watch, we ensure from the part of the administration, we establish the first grassroots department, first youth football department, first beach soccer department, first women's football department, and the rest of other activities will continue to develop from the level of administration to the level of coming on the pitch, off the pitch, and other opportunities. Coming to other opportunities under coaching, we talk about the video analysis course, first time launched in our country, the first anti-doping course launched in Liberia, and not just only in Liberia, but in Africa as one of the first members association. So a lot of these activities, just to name a few, that we can refer to as a legacy. And as part of our promises, we always urge each and every one of you to revert to our platform before coming to the Football Association. We made a commitment and promise that we will develop Liberia football at all levels. Development is a process. The next stage of the cycle that is coming now is looking at how we get end results and competitions, focusing on national teams' activities and wins.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Webster, and the FIFA trained operator. I just have two questions quickly. The first question has to do, you've been touched in the fact that you don't want to grade yourself. But let me just put it forth. In a ratio of 70 to 100, where can we put the Liberia Football Association for 2025? And the last one, I've watched over the period of 2025 that our national teams were able to honor international competitions. Can you rate the performance of our international competition in 2025? Were you able to meet some of the FIFA thresholds in terms of getting international competition for our national teams?
Well, again, it's a difficult one to do, to rate myself, and I don't love to do so. You are the teachers, you are the professors, you are the instructors, you have the barometer, the thermometer, whatsoever devices in your hand to measure what we've done as the executive committee. What I can tell you is we set and defined goals. We met with almost all of our goals for the period 2025. It was not an easy thing to do, difficult, challenging, but with the support of our executive committee, with the support of our staff, we were able to meet those levels and barometer or targets we set. On the part of national team, I wouldn't celebrate that we performed very well, because I would have loved to see our country at the AFCON. I'd love to see our country at the World Cup. However, we must understand, getting at the World Cup or the African Cup of Nations is not just an overnight thing. It requires huge investment from all over, but not with 100% certainty that when you have all of those investments, you're going to be there. What we can guarantee is that what we're putting in place with our youth program, our development program, we are definitely guaranteed to start seeing success in the next few AFCON to come. I will not sugarcoat to tell the performance is okay. I can say bravo to our players for participating in this international competition on extreme and difficult situations. Difficult conditions from the side of the coaches and our players. And when you are going through some of these challenges, you don't expect to see the results that all of the citizens will be yearning for.
Follow to the question from Westbrook after. And Mr. President, we have a lot of qualifiers coming up very soon. And tell us, what is the plan for the Football Association to make sure that Liberia is on course for this coming World Nation Cup qualifiers? What plans are you putting into place up to now? There is no head coach yet, permanent head coach for the national team. 7 years now in charge, the country has not been able to qualify for any major competition on your watch. Are you
say, confident that maybe when you are at the project that are broken because of the work, because an opponent of you already said they're going to make sure that the bro qualify for any major tournament or the competition or the work when they are in charge. Are you embarrassed by my current startup on your leadership?
Well, talk is free. Anyone can come and tell you they'll build a stadium in 9 months. But have you seen a stadium built in 9 months? Anyone can come and stand and say they'll build a headquarters for SWAT. But have you seen a headquarters constructed or a blueprint? So a lot of people will just talk or spew out information without understanding the reality or the dynamics of football or the development of football. There is no 100% guarantee that when you involve or invest 10 million in Liberian football, you're going to go to the World Cup or you're going to go to the African Cup of Nations. But there's a huge certainty and possibility that once you invest in that way, you can qualify. I'm not here to guarantee any Liberian that Liberia is just going to walk to the World Cup. What we have to do is to ensure that we invest. And for example, with the challenges we faced, a national team preparing for a tough competition against the likes of Tunisia. Did we seek the opportunity to have an international friendly before playing against Tunisia? There's a no money syndrome. And that's the reason why we at the Lfa Executive Committee has realized that in order to address and mitigate this risk factor or these gaps or situations that we always find ourselves in, is to ensure that we come with cutting-edge solutions, introducing the business of football, going commercial, come with our academy, come with our football program, come with our LFA hotel. So at some point, we can grow and move towards independence where the LFA can come and solve some of these problems where national teams will have this competition to participate in. We, as the LFA, will arrange these international friendlies. We have international friendly winner in March. Is it guaranteed that we're going to participate in these competitions? I cannot tell you that. Today, we've received information from the Minister of Sports, who is, our line ministry representing government, that it cannot support or finance the youth national teams. The Liberia Football Association should utilize the FIFA Forward 3.0 funds. How much do you know is there for the FIFA Forward 3.0 funds to run the U20 girls, the U17 girls, U15 girls, U15 boys, U17 boys, and U20 boys? These are things that we all need to brainstorm and think in terms of how we find solution. A team without sufficient motivation, without sufficient investment and support, wouldn't just qualify by the night or during the period of the rain. We must all work together, we must concentrate on the issues, and that's the reason why we've started as the executive committee to come up with cutting-edge solutions. Yes, and we say thanks to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We're informed that we have a coach from Serbia. We are still waiting. The executive committee also, through the technical development committee, has presentations, but we are waiting for national government because it is the owner of the national team.
Yeah, finally, Garrison.
Yeah, follow up on the national team coaches, especially in the last 3 to 4 months, we've been getting complaints from the staff, especially the coaches and the technical staff, that the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Finance are yet to release check for the coaches for their participation in the AFCON World Cup qualifier. Is there any information from the LFA?
Well, it is true, and we've never denied that. It's not only with the coaches. We're still indebted to hotels since the last competition in 2024. We've not paid Colony Hotel and RLJ. We don't feel happy about the situation with Thomas Kojo and his team. He has been here and running up and down between the LFA Minister of Finance and Youth and Sports because he's also under pressure. He has to pay his staff. And again, these are things that we've identified and we are working towards, mitigating or reducing these issues over the period. And our work is to ensure that what we experience, we're trying to fix it as much as possible so that those that will come after us in the future will have less headache in terms of financial challenges because it's faced by players and the players are not motivated and not getting the pardons or the coaches are getting, they won't be concentrated. So there are factors affecting performance of the national team. And mind you, the national team is playing on the 5th and you receive the money on the 5th and you expect them to be, very productive, these are things we need to think about. So there's more we need to do as Liberians, there's more we need to do as LFA, as the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to ensure we solve this issue, because it is not something that just commenced today. It has been, running for a very, very long time, but I believe it is now time that we have to fix it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since it is an engagement, we'll take 3 concerns from online, those who are also following. Senator Tamar, who couldn't be at the traffic, is concerned about the LFA plans to increase or to improve media relations between the LFA and the Sports Writers Association.
And then Joseph Mentokuya, a player based in the U.S.,
is concerned about the LFA plans related to players' welfare, and another person is concerned about the unification town page in my county.
Well, thank you. The issue about player welfare today, it's sad. Our players come for a national team; they are getting $1,000 for appearance fee. I'm sure it's due to the current situation in our country, economic condition, because it is what we get from national government. We are also not happy that the ratio between the male and female. Our female players get as low as $50 per game. The women team traveled to Mauritania and it was giving $50 something that was insufficient. But again, that's where we find ourselves as a country. So we continue to advocate and work around the table to guarantee that it improves over the periods.
The unification.
We talk about pitch, football facilities development. Our assurance and commitment is that we have at least one pitch in each county. Magibi was one of the first county, during the period of Councillor Somo and Zeta Wesley leadership. She constructed the Nesido pitch, and we are going to be replacing the pitch in Magibi. So we'll also be exploring means to see how we can develop, but the unification town pitch, once you decide to put an artificial pitch, it's going to reduce to not 11 aside, but to around maybe 6 or 7 aside, because it requires creating the runoffs, concrete runoffs, and then runoffs for the turf before coming to the main playing area. So it's a challenge for the unification town pitch. It's something that we need more land space if the LFA or the county authorities want us to construct an artificial pitch on that facility.
Then the LFA plans to enhance media relations with the sporting media for 2026.
Well, I want to say bravo and thanks to the current leadership of SWA, headed by Mr. Obama Kamara and his team. They have been doing very well in terms of expanding and creating more information and content from the LFA to the rest of the world. More for us to do, and again, I want to say it is an open opportunity to all members of SWA. The Football Association is just not for the employees, not just for players development, not just for coaches, referees development, sports medics development. We also have to create opportunity to develop members of the press. We are open. An MOU was submitted by the president and his team. It's something we are exploring to see how we can use that opportunity to strengthen, and we want to push more to SWA. So more challenge for SWA. We want to see a SWA getting involved and doing more for the Football Association. Report the facts, and if the LFA errs, report it, because it's part of their responsibility to provide balanced and appropriate information to the general public. But we can guarantee, under my administration, we will improve upon the relationship. We want to do more for SWA, because you are here to also checkmate us and also provide information to those who are benefiting from football and football development in our country.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members of the press, for always sending up our media engagement. On that note, that's how we come to the end of today's media engagement with the President. Once again, let me say many thanks for honoring our invitation. And our doors as the media department remains open to address issues of concern that you may be able to know about. We are always open in contacting anyone from the department, then we'll be able to address those concerns. So until then, we'll be sure invite you for another program or another media engagement. Do have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Huh? Ready?